Hello, thank you for joining us for another video. This time we are excited to present a double unboxing of the TECNO Camon 40 and the TECNO Camon 40 Pro. Let's dive right in. These fantastic devices have just been announced in Mexico. The TECNO Camon 40 is the most basic model with a launch price of 3,999 pesos. It's exclusively available on Mercado Libre, Amazon and TikTok Shop. Meanwhile, the Camon 40 Pro sees a considerable price increase, reaching a total of 7,999 pesos. This particular one is going to have a much wider distribution, even though I haven't received more specific details yet. Surely, that's why its price is also higher. In this unboxing, we will also learn about some of its features. So, what do you think if we begin by taking the devices out of their boxes? These will obviously have very similar boxes, not just in terms of aesthetic design, but also regarding their contents. Notice that right from the beginning we have the cell phones, and indeed, here they are, already sharing with us some of their features. These features can be sometimes similar and at other times slightly different. So let's proceed to take the devices out of these protective plastics. Interestingly, the Pro model requires me to peel it off in this manner to remove it from its protection. But, well, here we have both of the devices. Let's get them powered up while we take a look at what else is included in the box. And before we dive into the contents of the box, we first remove the decal for the 40 Pro model and also the decal for the base model. Now, let's carefully review the contents of the box, which I must emphasize are going to be quite similar. Take note that these are boxes that, in both instances, come with a tool for removing the SIM card tray and is presented in a rather curious way. There's so much hidden, and then we discover documentation that I call lifetime papers, included with both devices. Next, we find a holster in both cases, but notice that in the Pro model, it's a textured holster, giving a great hand feel and retaining a small tab that's a design essence of this series. Meanwhile, the base model comes with a simpler holster, completely transparent and flexible with semi-rigid edges are present. And they also try to maintain this design of the small tab that becomes much more noticeable once you put the holster on. In fact, this case features some texture that enhances the grip of the device, yet it definitely detracts a bit from the nice aesthetics that it has without the case on. It's important to note that without the case, it comes with a really nice satin design. Meanwhile, on the Pro model, I believe that having the case on doesn't spoil the design too much because it doesn't contribute to it either. Extra reflections to spare. We are still observing something quite nice here, so the Pro model is one I could definitely use with a case because it still appears very nice and actually quite original. However, the base model is one I don't think I would use with a case, as I don't really appreciate the way it looks. But aside from the case, please note that in both scenarios, a 45-watt charger with USB is included. This means it's the exact same charger and the exact same cable that will go from USB to USB. It's not a particularly long cable, but it's nice that it's included. In fact, it's great that it also comes with the charger and the case, making it a very complete package in both instances. Now, let's just put all these items back into storage so we can concentrate on the cell phones. I now have both devices here in my hand to guide you through the specifications and examine what features are the same and which ones differ. In both devices, the thickness is 7.3 mm. However, I must mention that the Pro model, with its back cover and curved front cover, feels thinner when held in the hand. The weight is 177.2 grams and 178 grams respectively, making them practically identical in that regard. Yet, despite being quite similar in thickness and weight, there are notable differences concerning durability. The base model has an IP68 rating, while the Pro model boasts an IP68 along with an IP69 rating. Therefore, we can say that the base model resists even. The base model is capable of withstanding water jets, but is not designed to endure submersion. On the other hand, the Pro model is built to withstand submersion, even at a depth of 2 meters for up to 30 minutes. This means it has a significantly higher level of water resistance, which helps to explain a bit more about the difference in price between the two models. Additionally, the base model is protected with Panda King glass. I know that might not sound very advanced, while the Pro model is protected with Gorilla Glass 1. This is another distinction that further explains the substantial difference in their pricing. The screen remains exactly the same, with the only difference being that the Pro model features a curved finish. We have a diagonal of 6.78 inches with AMOLED technology and a full HD resolution, boasting a refresh rate of 120 Hz. Therefore, in both instances, we are presented with a really excellent screen. However, it is particularly remarkable in the base model because it is significantly more affordable yet it retains a screen that is almost identical to that of the Pro model. In fact, they appear quite similar in terms of brightness, so I would say the remarkable aspect here is seeing this screen available on the base model. In both scenarios, we encounter stereo sound, with a speaker at the bottom, a secondary output at the top, and through the headset for calls. However, I must mention that the Pro model provides slightly brighter treble, even though they are quite similar. This once again speaks very highly of the base model. The front camera of the base model is 32 megapixels with f-aperture 2.2 and fixed focus. Note that although the preview is not very well optimized, the end result looks very good, even with good color. I'm surprised because in the price range I wasn't expecting photography with this quality. I love the Pro model goes up to 50 megapixels with f-aperture 2.5 and autofocus, and again although the preview is not so well optimized, the end result looks very good if you notice a detail. The autofocus makes it superior, though interestingly, I preferred the base model's colors. However, having autofocus on a front camera at this price point is amazing for the Pro model. Both models share the same rear system, featuring a 50 megapixel main camera, f-aperture, 1.9% optical stabilization, and autofocus. Additionally, there's an 8 megapixel ultra wide-angle camera with an f-aperture of 2.2 and fixed focus. Having precisely the same photographic system, or once again the remarkable aspect is discovering these specifications and features starting from the base model. The support for video recording remains identical for both models. In the front camera, we have the capability to record up to 8K at 30 frames per second, or alternatively, Full HD at 60 frames per second. Meanwhile, in the rear camera, we see exactly the same support, although it's important to note that the ultra-wide camera is unable to record at 60 frames per second. However, it does have the ability to reach 4K as well. Once more, observing the same features on both devices, the base model notably stands out, and interestingly, the pictures have identical quality. Here we see the example with the ultra-wide camera, which I generally like. It's intriguing that the base model offers this quality seen in the Pro model, which is as expected. With the main camera, the same occurs. We see good quality, colors, and contrast. One highlight is that with 2x zoom, the 47mm photo keeps optical quality and offers good detail, a key point for the base model. In the 117mm photo, interestingly, the base model appears to perform better. Just look at the detail of the yellow leaf, it seems to capture the texture better. Again, the base model seems more appealing. The maximum zoom for both is 10 times, or 233mm, yielding very similar results. And in both cases, let's say, it is within the expected range. However, in the base model, the devices typically show a maximum zoom of 10x, but with reduced quality. By the way, both models are equipped with an optical fingerprint reader inside their displays. The battery, in both situations, is 5200 mAh and supports charging at 45 watts, with the charger included in the box. Once again, what is remarkable here is that the base model already includes these same features, because the Pro model, I think, that does not disappoint in several aspects and competes very well within its price range. What's remarkable is that many of these features are included in the base model, which has a significantly lower price. In terms of software, we will obviously find the same versions, Android 15 along with iOS 15, which introduce several artificial intelligence features. You can check out the full list, including its own assistant that's connected to DeepSea, so it incorporates generative artificial intelligence. We'll see call assistance for translation, social network assistance with various options, writing assistance for documents, summaries, transcripts, and Circle for Google search. The Pro model is common, but the base model stands out. Both have 8 GB of physical RAM with virtual RAM, which I rarely use, but also is available. Also 256 GB of storage, and the processor is the Helium G99 Ultimate. In this aspect of the processor is where the Pro model disappoints, because in the price range one would expect a much more powerful processor, because although it has the ultimate surname is very similar to the Helio G100, which in turn is very similar to the Helio G99. So in the price range of the Pro model, the processor does fall very short, even though in the rest of the features it was doing very well. However, for the price of the base model, the processor is quite good. If you're into numerical benchmarks, you'll notice that in Geekbench it scored similarly in both cases, about 730 single-core points and around 2000 multi-core points. Interestingly, in Antutu, the results differed significantly. The base model scored 3,74,918 points, while the Pro model reached 4,41,215 points. To sum it all up, the Pro model provides enhanced water resistance, a marginally clearer sound, and a front camera equipped with autofocus. However, to be completely honest, if I were in your position, I'd opt for the base model. While the Pro version does come with certain enhancements, I personally feel that the price difference isn't entirely justified. Nevertheless, I've included the purchase links for both models in the description below, just in case you find yourself interested in either one of them. For now, we have arrived at the conclusion of this video. Please remember that the video review will be available soon. I truly hope that you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.